I'm here with the lovely Christina. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for asking. I'm good. I'm really good.
And tell us where you are.
Today, I am in New Orleans, Louisiana. I'll be here for a little bit, and I have some other places I'll be bopping around to, but I'm grounded right now in Louisiana, New Orleans, USA, America.
Amazing, wonderful stuff. And you are a recent graduate from the Profitable Yoga Teacher Program. So you came into the program with us in November. And one thing I just want to tell everybody here is that Christina was super, super active in our community before she came into the program. And she literally watched every single video that we've ever put out there. You were like swatting up, weren't you? And like getting all that knowledge and
I still am.
you still are. You exactly, yeah. I still see you like when I go into Facebook, there's like notification that you just commented on like last week's video or something, which is incredible, like that thirst for knowledge is so important. So just tell everybody here about your business and when you started it.
I started my business back in 2015 in New Orleans, Louisiana. And ever since, I've been evolving the business over and over, kind of refining it. And it started off with just a regular yoga class at the park. And it evolved into what today is Ayurveda and yoga evidence-based continuing education. And we're a provider for future and current health professionals to improve and empower and enable themselves and underrepresented communities to take control of their physical, mental, and economic health and well-being. And since then, we've evolved into a nonprofit, and I'm a one-woman show, but I work really hard at it. And I currently, after doing Kelly's program and still doing Kelly's program, I have 3 VAs that are helping me behind the scenes. One who's a PhD in psychology, and then I have another one who is the mastermind behind the web and tech, and another who just joined that's going to be working on our social media that I'm very excited about. And all of this happens because of the evolution of being a nonprofit, from just teaching and hustling and running around town to really understanding what it means to value your self-worth, but also something that Kelly talks about and then something that I continue to refine and literally just refined it over the course of this weekend was my niche and who specifically we are targeting, myself included, who I am targeting and who now my business as a whole is targeting in its entirety and in its wholeness. I've also re-enlisted in school, so while I'm working on this, I'm wrapping up undergrad for Ayurveda and integrative medicine with a major minor in consciousness and human behavior as I work towards coming to a PhD in Ayurveda and integrative health.
Incredible.
That's
So
in a
yeah, there really is a
nutshell.
thirst for knowledge there. Just a little bit, which is
Nutshell.
amazing. And um, yeah, just a touch, which is so incredible though, because that's what's going to help you to continue to actually refine your message. And it's interesting how still, you're refining the niche. And we say, don't we, that you start the niche work, but it doesn't end there. It evolves as you evolve, and you're continuing to evolve. So it makes perfect sense that you would still be looking at that and identifying, have we got this right? Like, do we need to refine it even more? Because the more you refine it, the easier it is to reach the right people, right?
hmm And I think the more honed down, like you start with a broad niche and you're like, wow, this is really who I really feel connected and resonated with the most. But then once you really dig in, and I just want to say, y'all, that if you go back and do the niche portion of Kelly's program when you are invested in it, and you actually do the worksheets and you go through and you listen to the guides, because she also has incredible resources there, it will transform what you thought was your niche and you're like, oh my gosh, wait, I missed something. And you're going to really refine not only who your niche is, but also who you are and as a teacher what you are offering, because you're valuing so much more of what you are offering. And that really refines your niche in such an elevated and eloquent way.
I love that. And so many, teachers that have gone through the program have said this as well. It's that piece of work that you do with the emotional driven survey and the copy Bible that allows you just to like get the messaging to click. It's so important. It's like a real foundation for you then to be able to build on with all your marketing strategies and so on. So I'd love to know, like, 6 months ago, like back in November, when we were October, when we were launching the program, how were you feeling back then, and what was the main driver that made you say yes to coming into the Profitable Yoga Teacher program?
So I started doing the summit. Well, I found out about you because I'm a graduate from Brett Larkin's 500-hour teacher training. And so I'm a 500-hour ERYT. I just needed that one extra little bump, and I did it. Then through her program, I found you, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, let me give a listen. And so I did, and I started applying what you were teaching well before I even knew you were going to have a summit or anything like that. And that was back in October. And then I saw that you were having a summit. You were pushing for us leaders to go on there and really empower ourselves. And I was like, you know what, I got to do this because I'm at a point in my business where I need a business manager. I need somebody that's going to hold me accountable. But better yet, it was a group of people that were going through the same exact thing that I was going through at a point in my career, that I'm a full-time yoga teacher, that I own this business, and I also travel 80% of my time. So how can I integrate both of these things and still be able to go to Norway and teach from Norway and still run and operate, and and be in school? So there's got to be a connection. And going through the summit and going through that program really opened my eyes. And then in like 3 days of being in the summit and applying that knowledge, my course that I was working on and launching, because I have an Ayurvedic yoga teacher training program, and within 3 days I launched. Like, I had 3 signups, and it was because of Kelly's guidance. I was so excited because I was applying what she was teaching. I was actually doing the work, and when you actually do it, the framework works. It just works. And since then, my mind was like, wow, this was exactly the nuggets of information I needed to take where I was at, feeling kind of stuck and feeling like I am being so busy and not productive. And I kept going through that. I'm being busy and not productive. I've got my day filled up. I barely can call my grandfather. I'm running around like crazy, and I'm not seeing any results. Lots of money's going out, but nothing's coming in. And I just felt like I was to a point of burnout, really. And I was like, well, this is it. If this doesn't work, then I'm pretty happy going back to a 9 to 5, and I'm just gonna call it a day. I've invested way too much, and I'm tired, I'm exhausted. But then I felt new hope with the support of the community, the support of everybody, and just all the nuggets of information. Use this, and this program will help do this. And no, you can actually do this, this, and that. And so it was really nice to hear the ideas as a collective, and it wasn't competitive. It was just, it's very uplifting. And it's like, wow, this yoga teacher is kind of stuck. And if I was in her shoes, I'd want them to give me that kind of information and feedback. So that's kind of where I was at. And since then, if I can talk about numbers real quick, I'd love to say. So I wrote a little something to share with you all, because I'm a nonprofit, extremely transparent. So I wanted to share. So with Kelly's guidance in the program, and this is just in the 3 days of the summit. Just in the 3 days, I was practically sold out of my Costa Rica yoga retreat, and I sold my one-to-one mentoring. I ended my year. I recovered what I lost during COVID at the end of the year, which was $8,800, just around there. And then when I jumped into the program, I jumped in with guns blazing, and I'm like, I am gonna nail this stuff. I'm gonna go through this program. I'm still doing the program, y'all, but I am now refining my entire teacher training because of the knowledge that I have now. And with slowing my roll and focusing on the wholeness of everything, the big picture, it's not an overnight thing, so I should not rush myself. And that's my mantra. I was able to collaborate with really incredible teachers from the program that we're working. I'm working with Cecilia in the UK and Karine, who's in New York, and another teacher and I are talking about working together, and they're in LA. So it's kind of cool how we can collaborate globally. And I
Mm.
started off this year, quarter one, I ended with another 8,000. In total, we ended with 16,000 from when I started Kelly's program to where I'm at now. And then I'm expected to end this quarter with an additional 16,000. We only are $5,000 away from our goal. And that's just by selling out our India yoga retreat. We have 3 more one-to-ones that are scheduled to come through, and another student signing up for our pre-registration for our fall 200-hour Ayurveda yoga teacher training. And it's just by going through everything that Kelly has guided us through do. If I find that I steer away from that, I everything falls apart. And then when I steer back and I'm like, oh no, 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 well maybe I can do it like this. No, it doesn't work like that. No, it doesn't work like Christina thinks. It's the way it's a proven framework, y'all. And I can't it makes my life easier with balancing school full time, managing a nonprofit full time, and transitioning from one state to another, and dealing with the legalities as a nonprofit between the 2 states, and how can I balance and shift this while also considering now going into an expansive network of a global outreach, and seeing how that's going to translate as we do telehealth. So it's all a process.
This is incredible, absolutely incredible to hear. And really, it's all on you, Christina. Like, you are entrepreneurial driven. Like, as you said, you jumped into it, and that's really what it takes. Like, you have to be 100% committed. Like, there's a lot of information inside the program and a lot of support, but it ultimately, it comes down to you, and you've really shown that. As I said, I mean, we've started today by sharing about how much you were like that thirst for knowledge right from the very beginning, before you even came into the summit. So it's no surprise that you've had such incredible results. And what's really interesting as well is that the strategies have helped you to build your online community, but actually you've been filling in-person retreats, right? You've been filling retreats, you've been filling your trainings, your online trainings as well. But talk to us about what your plans are for future online offerings.
Right now, I am in a competition, and I am working on expanding our online programming so that I can reach a global community through translating all of my programs through a multilingual translator program, so that I can offer everything that I deliver to our healthcare professionals within their facilities right now. And so that is where we're evolving to. So it's not so much teaching one-on-one to classes and having outdoor classes and the community and the way that I used to build my community. I still appreciate that, and I still do that in person because I love that connection. But I also realize where the direction of this business is going. And as a business leader, I need to move along with that same wave. It's like when you're surfing and you got a really great swell and you're just gonna go with it, and then you can keep going until you can just take it easy and then find the next one. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And I really am finding really wonderful connections with the medical profession, and bridging this gap between healthcare providers that have lack of care for themselves and we're taking the care out of healthcare, and now we need to put the word care back into it. And that's where Jai Bhakti Yoga Foundation is evolving to Jai Bhakti Yoga and Wellness, and being able to create more programs that are going to be more holistic, especially because of the power that Ayurveda and yoga have as a sister science together. And as yoga practitioners, we understand the eight limbs of yoga. So, how we integrate that into our medical facilities, and not just medical, but any healthcare provider, meaning yoga teachers that are going through some sort of a burnout, that are in some sort of health sector, like a social worker, a nurse, a medical physician, anyone that's doing surgery. They have not even been able to have a cup of coffee, let alone take 5 minutes to even check their phone and on their kids. And they are expected to be present and sharp and ready, but they haven't taken care of themselves. And so it's kind of facing these own clashes within our own system of health. And just like yoga teacher burnout, we have medical providers that are having burnout and they haven't been instructed with these tools yet. And that's where I'm at with my business, is this next stage of evolution going into 2023 and beyond. So yes, I'll still teach in person, but I'm also going to be expanding this so I can bring on more teachers, provide more jobs, and also provide more benefits for mental, physical, and economic well-being.
Incredible. And this is where you've really refined things, right? To really focus in on this specific niche, which is, really needed. Like there's a real need there. So I love the fact that you've really, built out your network as well in order to be able to support you with this in terms of like getting that reach. And that's a really important part. We covered that in the program about how you actually build your network. How has that helped you?
So much, so much. I remember Brett Larkin saying the first time she made her first $800, she immediately went and got a VA to start helping her. And I'll never forget her saying that. And that was kind of my trigger point to look at the numbers and be like, you know what? I need to get help. And I went and got a VA team to help me. And I've been working with the VA, and now I have three VAs. And I find that I have more freedom to really focus and refine. One of my VAs, who happens to be a PhD in psychology, who's my grant writer, and I was just like, thank you, Lord, for this amazing gift. Like, this is just, everything is in alignment as it's supposed to be. And it's just by following certain steps and strategies, I feel, that has been helping me the most.
And also it's like you're opening yourself up to this abundance, right? So like there's always a fear around investing in, whether it's like investing in yourself in coaching, whether it's investing in a team, whether it's investing in, I know, paid strategies like ads. There's that fear of, oh, am I gonna get the investment back? And you proved that it works. Like when you open yourself up to actually receive, it pays for itself. It pays for itself. And like now you've got three VAs. So it just shows there that you've kind of really allowed yourself to feel supported in that way.
Well, and even the ads, I had so much aversion to Facebook ads. I don't know how to use them. I still don't know how to use them, but I'm still learning, and it's still, okay, well, trial and error. Well, I know that I can put this $20 here and see what happens. And I tried it, and I had three students that never knew who I ever was, ever show up on my yoga teacher train or on my yoga retreat to Costa Rica, two of which joined the yoga teacher training and never met them before. And so I, this was the most incredible thing for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I am so blessed to meet you. This is an amazing experience. And so I just embraced them, and they're coming with me to India, and they're continuing on with their yoga teacher training program, and they're pushing me for me to get my 300-hour one out, which now I must hunker down and do.
Yeah. Amazing. And the thing is, it's funny that you mention ads, because obviously we teach you how to do the ads, but it's definitely an area that we can get very, even I'm like, oh my gosh, there's always something that goes wrong with the pixel, or there's always something. But, just trying to embrace the strategies, because it can be quite a learning curve, right? And you've embraced it, and look what happened, which is just great.
Yes.
Amazing. So you are incredible, Christina. I'm so, so grateful that you've come in to the group today to chat with everyone. What is your final piece of advice for anyone that's considering joining the Profitable Yoga Teacher program?
Absolutely do it. You're going to learn so much, and it's not only about your business, it's about yourself and how you're evolving It's nothing that's going to happen overnight, but what you put into it is exactly what you're going to get out of it. And I definitely am speaking from experience. If I can do it, if I can do it with everything that's going on in life, you absolutely can do it too. And you will see so much transformation, but legitimate transformation, not just the word thrown around. Like you will honestly see the evolution within your business and within yourself just by trying, just by trying even the first module and give it your all and see what happens and see what happens.
You're amazing. Thank you so, so much for being here. Mwah. I cannot wait to see what happens with your business and with you. And I know that you will be here in this community and we will get to celebrate you in the future as well. So thank you so much. Well done you for being so incredible. Sending you so much love. Mwah.
Yeah.
Lots of love.